Hey everyone, it's Selkirk from Universal Rackets, and in this video today we are going to be teaching you how to hit a pickleball serve. In my opinion, this is the fastest and most effective and easiest way to learn a serve in pickleball. Unlike tennis, you only have one try to get the ball over before you give the ball to your partner or your opponent, so you need to learn how to serve and get your serves in pickleball. Join me today for the fastest way to hit a pickleball serve. Let's get started. So, first thing that you're going to do is you are going to find a gate just like this. And before serving in the actual court, you are going to serve into a gate. The reason why I want you to serve into a gate at first is so you could get the feel of dropping and making contact with the ball. If you're starting out, it's going to be difficult. When am I supposed to toss the ball and when am I supposed to hit the ball? So this is going to help you get synchronized, okay? The first thing that I want you to do is make sure you're sideways when you serve. Now, if you watch pickleball on TV, there are players that serve open stance and everything. But when you're picking up the game of pickleball, you want to start sideways. You want to make sure that you're on a surfboard, on a skateboard, you're sideways, and you have your arm out in front. Now, when you have your arm out in front, you want to make sure that you drop the ball and then you swing forward. You can bounce the ball on your serve, but if you bounce the ball on your serve, it's not going to be super effective long term, and also there's more variables. Maybe it's windy, maybe the ball bounces different. So we're going to teach you how to drop the ball. So you're going to be sideways, you're going to start with your hand out in front, you're going to drop, and you're going to hit. Drop and hit. By saying it out loud, it's going to allow my muscle memory to register it and continually teach it. It's the easiest way. Think, writing notes in your notebook is super easy to retain information. Saying it out loud in pickleball is super easy to retain information. So we're sideways, we're dropping, and we're hitting. Again, we're dropping and we're hitting. Now, let's get some balls. This is the first drill that you're going to do. You're going to be sideways, you're going to drop the ball out in front, and you're going to make contact with the ball. And after you're done, I want you to point the tip of your paddle forward. I want you to pretend that there is a laser shining out the tip of your paddle. That ensures that you're swinging properly. A lot of players, when they're starting out, they swing here, swing there, swing here, swing there. Where's the tip of my paddle? It's not pointing forward. So by doing this, it's going to teach you the proper swing motion. So I'm going to be sideways, drop the ball out in front, point the tip of my paddle forward. I'm going to be sideways, drop the ball out in front, tip of the paddle forward. One more. Sideways, drop the ball out in front, tip of the paddle forward. Now, when you drop the ball, you have to make sure that you're doing the 3 B's. Number 1 is behind the line when you're serving. Number 2, you need to make sure that you make contact below the ball. And number 3, you need to make sure you make contact below the hip. So a huge thing when you're starting out is you want to drop around your hips so you can make contact below your hip. A lot of players, they make illegal serves coming on top of the ball because they're dropping the ball too high and they have to hit. So out in front, around your hips, so you can make contact below the hip. And again, I am pointing the tip of my paddle facing forward. Now, once you get that down, once you get that muscle memory, now you're going to transition to the actual baseline and start serving some pickleballs. So now we are on the actual court and we are going to have 0 expectations. The only expectation that we have to have, or technically 3 expectations, are the 3 B's. Behind the line, below the ball, below the hip. So I am going to start serving. When I start serving, all I'm going to do is pretend like I just did it at the gate. I'm going to point the tip of my paddle forward towards my target. Now, when you guys are serving, if you're serving on the right side, you're serving to the left. If you're serving on the left side, you're serving to the right. It has to go in the box. It can't go in the kitchen. It can't go on the kitchen line. It can go on any other line in your rectangle, but again, it can't go on the kitchen line. Now that is kind of confusing for players learning how to serve, but think, this line is not a line, it is part of the kitchen. So if it touches the kitchen line, again, it is not a good serve. So I'm gonna be sideways, I'm gonna be on my surfboard, paddle back, ball out in front, and all I'm going to do is drop and hit. Drop and hit and point the tip of my paddle forward, okay? Once again, drop and hit, point the tip of my paddle forward. Now notice, when I do this, I really want to emphasize when I start out, my paddle is already back and my ball is out in front. Now, if I'm not teaching the serve, if I'm playing pickleball, I'm going to serve open stance, but if I'm serving close stance, I'm going to be here and I'm going to swing. Was my paddle back when I was serving? No, but we're learning pickleball. Our goal is to keep things as simple as possible. If you start with the ball out here and you have to take your paddle back and forward, there's more things that can go wrong. If you start with your paddle already back and your ball out in front, all you have to do now is you don't have to time it, all you have to do is swing forward. So that's why we teach players at Universal Rackets to start with their paddle back and the ball out in front. Now, when you make contact again, I want to emphasize, you want to make sure that you point the tip of your paddle forward. A lot of players starting out, they stop here and the ball goes in a kitchen, which means you lost the serve, or they go up here and the ball goes super high. By pointing the tip of your paddle forward once you're done serving, that ensures that you're doing the proper swing path. When you're swinging for your serve, you want to swing out forward and then up. There are two distinct motions. Number one, you need to swing forward, but if you just swing forward, the ball is going to go into the net. And number two, you need to swing up to get the ball over the net. Again, it's not here to the side. A lot of players break the wrist. It is forward to the point that once I was done, if I put a ball on my paddle, look, it is going to balance every single time. Again, the tip of the paddle is a huge thing because what a lot of players will do is they'll swing and it'll be to the side like this. Look, the tip of the paddle is pointing to the side. That is not a good serve. So by pointing tip of the paddle forward, it ensures that you follow through and you have the proper swing path of out and up. Now, once we get that, once we feel good with that, now what we're going to do is we're going to be speaking about getting the ball over the net at a faster rate. Now, do you want to hit the ball as hard as you can on your serve? And the answer is no. A lot of players, they start going out, they start learning pickleball, and they start thinking that they have to go like this, super hard. Number one, I have low consistency. I have more of a chance to miss. Again, in pickleball, you only get one serve. If you miss, you lose the point, okay? Instead of doing this. Why is that way more effective than this? Well, number one, I tried to hit the second ball in, but number one, the ball went in. But number two, what does the returner have to do in pickleball? The returner has to let the ball bounce in pickleball. Once again, if you're returning a serve, you have to let the ball bounce in pickleball. So even if that ball is super high, your opponent can't just come up and spike it because they have to let the ball bounce. So by getting the ball deep, it keeps them back and you can win more points in pickleball. So you want to make sure that you don't think that you need to get power in pickleball. Once you get better with your serve, depth is greater than power. Placement is greater than power. In top priorities, depth, accuracy, and power, or depth, placement, and power, depth is number one, placement is number two, and power is number three. That is the last thing that you need to learn in pickleball. So again, make sure your paddle's back, starting here, and you're pointing the tip of the paddle forward. Now, the next thing, my favorite quote in pickleball. When you're starting out, you're going to try to, again, stop and get the ball in. A lot of players, they'll stop like this. In pickleball, to gain control, you have to give up control. The more you let the paddle work for you, the less you work for the paddle, the better it is going to be. The better it is going to be, and you are going to achieve consistency. What does that mean? You need to let it go. I tell players when I teach pickleball clinics, I will start singing Frozen, let it go, let it go, let it go. And as you guys see, I have a horrible voice. So you don't want me to do that if you're on the court. Okay, so save this audio right now, and if you ever don't let it go and you stop, I want you to play me singing Let It Go like I just did. What is the goal? You have to let the paddle work for you, don't work for the paddle. I need you to commit to the swing every single time. What you're going to find out by letting go and committing to your swing, you're going to get way more control rather than just trying to get the ball in, okay? So make sure that you commit to your swing fully, and once you're done, you're pointing the tip of your paddle. I'm going to show you what I mean real quick, okay? So a lot of players, they'll do this, and they'll stop and they'll end up missing instead of just letting it go. So go out, practice tons of balls. Practice does not make perfect, practice makes permanent. So go out again and just commit with your swing every single time, and you'll be good to go.